Ever wonder where our modern ideas of pirates really come from? The treasure maps, the peg legs. Or what about the whole concept of a split personality, that hidden, darker self we all hear about? Well, today we're diving into the brilliant mind of the one writer who gave us some of the most powerful, enduring myths in our culture. So let's just jump right in with a question. What do swashbuckling pirates stealing the high seas and the dark, hidden nature of a respectable scientist actually have in common? The answer is kind of surprising, and it tells you a lot about the kinds of stories we just can't get enough of. Think about it. The thrill of a treasure map with that iconic X, promising untold riches and, of course, a ton of danger. I mean, that one single image has fueled countless daydreams of adventure for more than 100 years. Or how about this one? A bubbling, smoking potion. It represents the allure of science pushed way past its limits and the terrifying darkness that can be unleashed when we start messing with the very core of who we are. Here's the thing. These potent symbols, the promise of adventure and the horror of what's inside us, they didn't just randomly pop up out of old folklore. Nope. They were sharpened, defined, and launched right into our collective imagination by one incredible storyteller, Robert Louis Stevenson. So, who was this guy who so profoundly shaped our modern myths? Let's get to know the ultimate storyteller himself. Okay, so Robert Louis Stevenson was a Scottish novelist, poet, and essayist from the 19th century. But come on, that description is so dry, it barely scratches the surface. His true genius? It was his knack for blending heart-pounding action with these deep, searching questions about morality and who we really are. And he wrapped it all up in such vivid detail that his work feels totally timeless. Let's start with how he basically invented the modern adventure story as we know it today. So, in 1883, Stevenson published his Treasure Island. The story follows a young kid, Jim Hawkins, who stumbles upon a treasure map and sets off on this incredibly dangerous voyage. And on that trip, he meets one of the greatest characters in all of literature, the charming, cunning, and completely untrustworthy pirate, Long John Silver. And this is what blows my mind. Stevenson didn't just write a pirate story. He wrote the pirate story. Treasure maps with an X, peg legs, parrots on the shoulder, almost every pirate cliche we know and love was popularized in this one single book. He didn't just create a character, he literally wrote the playbook for an entire genre. And he wasn't a one-hit wonder in the adventure department either. He also gave us Kidnapped, another nail-biter of a tale about betrayal and survival. This one wasn't about buried gold, but it was this harrowing journey of a young man across the Scottish Highlands, digging into these huge questions of loyalty, honor, and how you find your place when the world's turned against you. But this is where it gets really interesting. See, Stevenson's fascination with hidden things wasn't just about treasure buried on an island. He also took a journey into the darkest, most terrifying place of all, the hidden parts of the human mind. In 1886, he published this short little book that would change Gothic fiction forever, Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's this masterful psychological thriller that's all about the duality of man. The whole conflict of the story is brilliantly simple and honestly profoundly disturbing. You've got Dr. Jekyll, who represents everything a proper Victorian gentleman was supposed to be, civilized, controlled, respectable. But then you have Mr. Hyde. He's the total opposite, the raw, wild embodiment of all the dark impulses Jekyll has to keep locked away. He is just primal human nature let loose, showing what happens when that mask of society gets ripped off. And it all comes down to this incredible, iconic idea from the book itself. Man is not truly one, but truly two. Whoa, what an explosive thought. Stevenson wasn't just telling a spooky story. He was basically saying that the real battle between good and evil isn't out there in the world. It's a war being waged inside every single one of us. Now, you can just imagine how an idea like that landed in the super strict, buttoned-up Victorian era. The story was this stunning critique of a society that cared more about how things looked on the outside, forcing people to hide who they really were. It hit such a nerve with readers that it instantly became a Gothic masterpiece. So when you step back and look at all of his work, Stevenson's range is just astounding. He was so much more than just pirates and monsters. Yeah, look at this. It really shows you his incredible versatility. In the same decade, he could write the book on adventure, the ultimate Gothic horror story, and even a beloved collection of children's poetry, A Child's Garden of Verses, which is all about innocence and imagination. But you know what the common thread is? Whether it's a quest for treasure or a battle with your inner demon, all his work explores some kind of hidden world, just beneath the surface of the everyday. And his impact, believe me, was not a flash in the pan. In the 1880s, he basically defined two major genres in just 3 years. And today, over a century later, his characters and ideas are absolutely everywhere. They're constantly being reimagined in movies, plays, and TV shows, which just proves the timeless power of his stories. So here's the bottom line. Robert Louis Stevenson was more than just a writer. He was a cultural architect. He drew the blueprints for modern adventure, and he gave a name to that monster that lurks inside us all. He created these incredible worlds, both out on the open sea and deep inside the human heart, that we are all, in a way, still exploring. And you know, that leaves us with a pretty fascinating thought to chew on. If a mind like Stevenson's were dropped into our world today, with all its crazy technology and complicated social dynamics, what new adventures would he map out? What modern-day Dr. Jekylls and Mr. Hydes would he find hiding in plain sight?